Disclaimer to this video, I'm not angry on anybody. This video is not me ranting on someone. This video is not me comparing to someone. This video is or slash podcast is going to be my take on the way what my first mentee taught me. Okay, no names will be taken, and I'm not angry on someone. It's like all the negative part. I'm past all those things, but then here I'm just sharing. I'll be sharing you with 6 points that I've learned from my own mentee, the first ever mentee. I've learned a lot of negative points. That was such a great thing for me, where it gave me a chance and opportunity to introspect towards myself and see, okay, is this in me? Okay, if it is in me, okay, how can I tweak it, change it, evolve it, and come to the positive part of it? So this probably the first 4, I think 6 points are negative, but if you think it in that way, all the negatives can be changed into positives. All the experiences that you've got can be changed into great experiences. That way you get to learn a lot of things. Okay, so that's the tone of this particular video. Thank you so much for making this one video a part of your day / podcast. We're going to go roughly for 9 to 10 minutes, just so that you know. Probably you can go beyond that, but then I'm kind of having a target of 9 minutes. That being said, let us dive into point number 1. Point number one that I've learned about that one person is don't rush. If you rush, you will fall down. If you fall down, you're going to fall down very hard. And if you fall down very hard, it's difficult for you to pick yourself up if you don't have a proper accountability. Okay? Don't rush things. Now, when I say don't rush things, I will be 100% contradicting myself on the thing that we follow inside the community of artists and scientists. Was that being subtle yet aggressive. Now, if you see deeply, you're not contradicting. You have to maintain your pace. You cannot go beyond your pace because you will burn out. That's a different story altogether. So you don't have to rush, but you have to play subtly and being aggressive. You don't have to focus on being aggressive. How can you take that one step? When I had COVID, what was my one step was, I just have to come here, open the camera, not open the camera, open the system, go out, learn something about entrepreneurship, something about funnel, something about designing, something about website building, something about the course curriculum, whatever that is. That was just my one step. What happens is when you rush, you tend to go super duper fast and fall. We don't want that. I don't want that. Being introverts, that's one of the most harmful things that you'll do. Lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 that I've learned. What is that? Don't compare yourself. This is one thing that I found in myself, and I think that's one of the core characters of a human. I'm not talking about science, but then comparison, some place or the other we do have. What I started to do, I started to realize and being conscious about, okay, way is Fuzzle comparing Fuzzle's journey to others' journey, my success to others' success, my results to someone else's results. What happened is when I started to being so aware, I started not to compare. Again, when you are starting off your journey, you are going to compare yourself. But the key point is stop comparing yourself with others. I don't know who said this, but then someone said you cannot compare your day 1 with someone else's day 365. That's insane. You cannot even compare your day 1 with someone else's day 10. You cannot even compare with your day 1 with someone else's day 2. They are already in the game. You don't compare that. One of the things that we also learn in our faith is like the core component of the devil, that's comparison. That's why the whole chaos started in a way. What happens is once you start comparing, your heart goes in a negative direction and it kind of spoils everything that you've got. So point number 1, don't rush. Second point, don't compare yourself with anyone. If you want to compare yourself, compare yourself with yourself. Am I doing better than yesterday? Answer is yes, great. Answer is no, work on yourself. Point number 3, don't use somebody else's credibility unless asked. I personally, this is something that I've learned from the mentee. Okay, this is very important for me because nobody gets to use someone else's credibility. You know why? Because I have built my credibility. Fuzzle has built Fuzzle credibility on 2 things: work hard, literally work hard work, and consistency. 2 things. And if you work hard and if you're way too consistent, what happens if you get successful in something? And when someone uses that as a credibility, it's like, okay, I'm going to work with Fuzzle. And you start taking Fuzzle's name and on your own benefit without even asking me. What happens is I don't like that person because you did nothing. I worked hard, I became consistent. Now what happens is now I start disliking that person. You know why? Because first of all, what you're doing is unethical. Second, you should have asked first. Either I should have said yes or no. I would probably have gone with yes. It's like I will be happy enough for you to share the credibility because now it's going to be working for me as well. It's like a marketing tool. But the core principle, the core lesson that you can learn is don't use anybody's credibility without asking them. If you go out and ask them, what happens? One, you are going to get promoted in that person's or in person's community, whatever. That is point number one. Point number two, if you don't ask and go ahead and do that, you are going to distance yourself from that one person. Okay, we don't use credibility unless asked. Point number four, don't just take help, also be there for people. I was going through a very rough phase mentally once when I was helping that mentee, but thanks to that mentee, that person was asking me so many questions, and it was anchoring me to come all the way from an emotional standpoint to a more logical standpoint. And what I don't like about that was great what happened. What I don't like about, like, if I'm helping you, you should also sometimes, on a courtesy sake, ask me, like, Fazil, how are you doing? Okay, that one question would have solved so many of my problems. But then what happens is, if you're on constant calls with someone and you just get directly to the question, I probably don't like that. Being an introvert, I probably don't like you call me like 10 times a day, probably for like 2 months, and you don't get to even ask how is Fazil. Like, I don't like that happening. Like, probably this video is pretty negative, but then I've learned those things, and I don't know why this video I'm kind of planning for, kind of making even for you, but I thought it is important for me to voice out, probably for you to get a lesson of how you shouldn't be as a mentee. Or if you are mentoring someone and if you find these things, these are pretty negative things, and if you plan to help someone like this, help them, great, and take a step back as soon as possible. You know why? Because you get to get experience and taking a step back, because these are all negative traits. This is going to pull you back anyway. Point number 5 is being coachable. That mentee was not coachable. I'll tell you one cool thing that I've learned. You have to be coachable at every given point in time. Okay? And also, if you don't, in this way, don't ask for help and do what you already thought you would want to do. This is very important for you to know. Is don't come up and ask help with someone and do what you already planned to do initially, because this is an immediate disrespect to the coach himself, to the mentor himself. What happens, I'll tell you, the coach, the mentor, the entrepreneur, whatever that is, whoever you're going to ask the question to, what happens is that person has gone through a journey of successes and failures both. The journey, it took blood, sweat, time, efforts, money, resources away from them for a very long time. They have struggled, they have kind of been through the journey and came. And when you ask for help, they are ready to help you. When they help you, and you, even after taking their help, you do what you felt you want to do, or for what you feel you want to do, or what you think is important. Now, if you think you are not that experienced as that coach or a mentor, now if you do that, you're going to fall. Second, you're disrespecting the coach that you asked for help. So the point being, you have to be coachable. Ask questions when you have questions. Ask questions when you know, okay, I don't know things, but now I know, acknowledging that, okay, I don't know anything about this one thing, and you have got better knowledge than me. What I'll do is I'll come and ask you. Now once I get this solution, I will implement the solutions, not implement my old thoughts, because again, those thoughts have got more experience. The solution that you've got, that has got experience. Okay, being coachable. I think I've also done this thing from Jay Cutler, one of the greatest bodybuilder. He said to the next greatest bodybuilder, Phil Heath, that I like 3 things about Phil Heath. He is coachable, first point he said. Second, he has got driven. Third point I couldn't recollect. It was one was coachable. Second was he has driven. Third was genes, genetics or something. It was genes. He got genes. Third was genes. It was like he was coachable. He was having that drive. He was having that genes. So once you're coachable, you get things done. Point number 5. Point number 6. We have passed 10 minutes. Point number 6 is respect the mentor. Again, it links back to point number 5. Is respect the mentor or a coach. How? By doing things what you have actually has and form. So these are the things that I've learned from my first mentee. These pretty much things are the most of the things that I've learned is on the flip side of it, the negative part of it. I've kind of flipped all the way to positive. And okay, if that person was rushing, okay, I shouldn't rush. If that person was comparing, okay, I should not compare myself, because I think one of the core principles that I've learned, and it stays forever with me, that I just have to compare myself. That's all. I just have to compare me with myself. That's all. That's the whole success victory game for me. It's like, if I'm doing better than yesterday, great. If I'm not doing better than yesterday, okay, I need to recheck the perspective, whatever that is. Okay, point number 3, don't use someone else's credibility. I kind of dislike that. Fourth one, don't take help. Point number 5, being coachable and respect the mentor. That brings us to the conclusion of this video / podcast. And thank you so much for making this kind of the neutral sort of a video / podcast a part of your day. I'm going to see you in another exciting way, which is not going to be this negative. Thank you so much. Have a great day.